students, yesterday we completed the chapter small business, and today I'm going to revise the whole chapter in this session. So if you missed any YouTube movie or YouTube video, then you should watch this one, because I'm going to recall the whole chapter in which I will tell you about the features, role, problems and government measures of small business. And one more topic is there. If the time will be there, then I'll explain that thing also. So that first, the small business definition of small business, I'm just giving you. A small business is a type of business which can be started by the people after investing rupees 5 lakh to 5 crore. If the person is going to invest 5 lakh, then it will come under the tiny industry. If the person is going to invest rupees 5 crore, then it will come under the small scale. If the person is going to invest more than 5 crore, then ultimately it will come under the medium industry. So it is a definition of a small business on the behalf of the investment made by the people. And other two terms are also there. On the behalf of workers, we can also define the small business. If the organization is going to employ 50 workers at the time of machinery, then also it will come under the small business. If a company is going to invest, going to employ 100 workers, but it can be possible when the company is not using machinery. Then ultimately we can say a small business can be defined on the basis of machinery also. Then after that we have to discuss about some of the features of small business, in which the first one is lower revenue. As I told you people, the small business can be started by investing less amount, so ultimately the small business will generate the lower revenue for the businessman who is willing to start their business in the economy. If businessman invested rupees 5 lakh, then ultimately we get less return from it, because we do not have the latest machinery to produce the qualitative product for the customer, because the customer want to purchase that particular product which have the maximum level of satisfaction for him, and it is not possible for the tiny and small scale companies to produce highly qualitative product for the customer. That is why the lower revenue can be generated by the small scale companies in the economy. The another one is a small team of employees. As I told you people, if the company is using machinery, then they can employ 50 workers in the organization, so that the little team, a small team is available in the case of a small business. No more people will be employed, no more people will assign the authorities or assign the work from the organization. That is why we can say very less number of workers are working in the small scale business to produce product and provide the product in the market. The another one is a small market area. As I told you, the small scale industries are facing a lot of problems to sell out their product in the market, because they do not get the proper place to sell out their product. They do not have marketplace to promote their product. Even that they do not have proper place to distribute their product directly to the customer. That is why the people are suffering from lot of problems, or lot of marketing problems to create the availability of their product in the market, and people also refuse to get the product. And the another one is sole and partnership. Generally, the small business can be started by the businessman in the form of sole proprietorship and partnership, because these two forms do not require a huge amount to be started. That is why this type of form of business can be adopted by the businessman if he is going to start the small scale business. So student, you just take out the screenshot of it, because these points are not, this flowchart is not available in the book, so you should take the screenshot. After that I will tell you the role and problems of the small scale business. Okay, now the role. As I told you, small scale industries are set up by the businessmen in the rural areas. So the small scale industries are playing a wider role, playing an important role in the development of the rural areas, because the first point is employment. The small scale companies are creating the employment opportunities for the people. Those are living in the villages, those are not getting the employment opportunities at the distant places. That is why the small scale companies are very helpful, because nowadays about 20 to 30% people are engaged under the small scale business, because they are the small scale business is located generally in the villages, and they are providing the employment opportunities to the people. Those have the seasonal unemployment, those have the disguised unemployment. They people got the employment opportunities under the small scale business. The another one is use of domestic resources. As I told you, the natural resources are very rich in the villages, so the companies are using the domestic resources to produce their product. Generally, the pottery farms, sericulture, pisciculture, and other forms of business are available in the villages. They are getting rich resources over there to run their business successfully in the economy, and they are utilizing the natural resources and domestic resources of that particular area. The another one is reasonable prices. It is an important part because whatever the product is produced by the small business, they produce the product at a reasonable prices to the customer, because the customer is ready to purchase the product if it has reasonable prices. Because mainly the people, those are ready to purchase the product of a small scale, they belongs to rural or backward areas, so ultimately they prefer to purchase that particular product which have reasonable prices, we do not have higher prices, and which comes under the purchasing power of that customer, those are living in that particular village. That is why we can say it is a role of a small business. So after that, there are certain problems which are faced by the small scale business in our country. The first one is lack of finance. As I told you, people, they do not have machinery, they do not have fixed assets and current assets. So ultimately, many of financial institutions refuse to provide them financial assistance. That is the first. That is the major problem which is facing by the small scale business in our country. They do not get financial support from anyone. The another one is lack of machinery. As I told you, the small scale companies are generally depend upon the labor intensive technique. They are not using the machinery, they are not using the capital intensive method to produce the product, because capital intensive method is quite costly as compared of labor intensive method, and the companies, those are the businessmen, those are running a small business, they are not able to purchase the machinery. That is why there is a lack of machinery. The another one is lack of training. As I told you, the companies are facing lot of shortage of finance. That is why they are not able to provide the training opportunities to the worker, those are working in the organization. That is why there is a lack of training is also present in the case of a small scale business. So students, it is all about the role, features and problems of a small business in our country. Then after some of the government measures which can be taken by the government to remove the problems faced by the Indian government, faced by the small scale business in our country. The first one is NABARD, National Agricultural Bank for Rural Development. NABARD is very famous for creating the development of the small scale business in our country. It is providing the agricultural support, it is providing the rehabilitation support, it is providing the developmental support to the small scale business and the backward areas of the country. That is why it is the first and important resource, what we call bank, which is started by the government to provide the financial support to the small scale business for the development. SIDBI, State Industrial Development Bank of India. It is an important organization which has started by the Indian government for the development of small scale business or industrial development. And it is an important source which is providing the financial assistance to the businessman, whether he belongs to large scale, whether he belongs to small scale in our country. That is why the SIDBI is also playing an important role for the development of the country. Grameen Bank are also located in the villages to provide the financial support, in which the different businessmen also get the financial support to run their business successfully in the economy. The another one is MSME, Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises Development Act 2004. It is given by the Indian government to take care of all the small scale, tiny and medium companies to run their business successfully in the economy and to take part in the development of the country. That is why MSME Act has released by the Indian government in 2004 for the development of village and rural areas of the country. So students, it is all about the quick revision of a small scale business, and it is very important part of your chapter. Yesterday I told you about the COVID-19 and its impact over the business, in which I told you about the blogging, about the media marketing, about the social networking, over the different things which can become under the small scale business, in which the businessmen do not produce product but they collect the product from outsources and sell out their product to the customer directly, and they are getting a lot of profit. Like eBay, we can take the example of eBay, we can take the example of Amazon, we can take the example of Flipkart, we can take the example of Shopee. So different websites are available over there. Those are providing the finance, those are providing the platform to the businessman who is ready, who is willing to start up their business in the economy, and who is ready to take advantage, who is ready to take first step for the development of the country. That is why the small scale plays an important role, in which they are providing the product to the people those are living in a country, and also they are trying to satisfy the need of the people those are living at the distance part of the country. That is why we can say a small business is very fruitful business for the company, in which the company get the, in which plenty of people got the employment opportunities, and also they are getting their livelihood from there. So it is very important part of this chapter, important part of your syllabus. You should watch the video, and if you have any query, you can ask your queries on my personal WhatsApp number, and I suggest you to watch the video again and again to revise or recall the whole chapter, and I also send you some of the questions related to it. If you have any query, you may ask. So stay home, stay safe. Thank you.